it's time to move on to where we left off. Kate Bush, Ariel, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're having a fantastic one out there. You know, I'm always excited to listen to more Kate Bush, so we're moving on to the next track here. Bertie. Isn't Bertie her son? Her son's name, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me. I'm pretty sure, if I remember. I could be misremembering. We'll find out shortly when we actually dive into the lyrics and such, but I'm pretty sure. Let's go ahead and give it a listen. We'll discuss it after. Thanks for being here, guys. Here we go.
Here comes the sunshine. Here comes the sun of mine. Here comes everything. Here's a song and a song for him. Sweet kisses. Three wishes.
I like her intonation on vibrato there.
Lovely, 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 lovely Bertie. Lovely, 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 lovely.
Love how we've gone to a folk, almost Planet kind of sound.
Lovely, lovely, lovely Bertie. Lovely, 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 lovely.
It's like a little harpsichord as well.
The most willful, the most beautiful, the most truly fantastic smile I've ever seen. Sweet kisses.
Such an interesting way she rises there.
Three wishes.
Hesitation.
Lovely, 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 lovely Bertie. Lovely, 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 lovely.
It's like pentangle, this kind of sound.
You're lovely, 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 lovely Bertie. Lovely, 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 lovely. Yeah, lovely, 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 lovely Bertie. Lovely, 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 lovely. You bring me so much joy, and then you bring me more joy. You bring me so much joy, and then you bring me more joy. You bring me so much
Love
joy,
that
and
line.
then you bring me more joy. You bring me so much joy, and then you bring me more joy. You bring me so much joy, and then you bring me more joy. You bring me so much joy, and then you bring me more joy. You bring me so much joy, and then you bring me more joy.
I like how, okay, so yes, this is a song directly dedicated to her son, Bertie. As soon as she said it, yes. Okay, there's a few really interesting things about this one. One, it moves into like a chamber folk kind of direction where it's reminding me of like Pentangle and a little bit of like Clannad and bands like that, where it has this wonderful down to earth instrumentation. It almost sounds like at first it was like a harpsichord, but perhaps even something earlier, maybe a lute or a theorbo or something like that. But I do see here that on this particular track you have Eligio Quintero playing a Renaissance guitar on here. And then you also have the viola played by Richard Campbell and Susanna Pell. Some string arrangement as well. So, and she is featured with keyboards. So it very well could be something of that nature, like a harpsichord being played alongside of that guitar, but maybe not. Either way, it's a really beautiful and simple arrangement. And even the way that she sings here is a little bit more humble. It's much more earthy and kind of staying close to the chest, so to speak, and close to the heart, which makes sense. This is a beautiful ode to her child. And I like how it's simple in a certain respect. And what I think is kind of interesting, it's a question. Why, I'm asking myself internally, but also perhaps externally, in a song that she's dedicating to her son, why did she choose this almost medieval chamber folk kind of sound to do it to, or to sing it to, right? And I don't know. Maybe we can find an answer. But in my mind, I think like perhaps as a baby, she sang to her son different folk songs, different, older folk songs, and maybe music of this particular genre. And so maybe he grew up with an affinity to it. So as an ode to him, maybe she decided, I would like to dedicate this song to him and also keep it in this same style and genre as that. For example, when I was growing up, like my parents, especially my dad, listened to jazz a lot. Like that's what he introduced me to and what was like always around for me. So if I was to make a song to my dad, I would make it in jazz. I would make a jazz song to him because like that would be like me giving that back to him. Like, you gave this music to me, I'm going to give something back to you and create it in this similar fashion. So maybe it perhaps could be in that regard. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going too far off the deep end. Maybe I'm thinking too much ahead and too much, but maybe not. I think there has to be a reason why this style was selected for this particular song. And then the intonation of her singing when it comes to the sweet kisses, 3 wishes line, the 3, like that quick little subtle back and forth there is very, very folky. And I like how even in her delivery, she perfectly replicates and brings in that style here in this track. Like I said, the little bits of strings are nice as it envelops itself. Nothing too dramatic, nothing too gaudy or anything like that. It doesn't need that. This is just a simple, more of a stripped, earthy kind of track to dedicate to her son here. I have to pull up. I'm trying to pull up Kate Bush Encyclopedia really quick because that usually has a little bit more information. I got the lyrics here, but usually that has a little bit more information. And then maybe we'll find that here. Where's my Kate Bush Encyclopedia? Hold on. Kate Bush Encyclopedia. You would think I would have done this before, right? There it is. Okay. And there we go. All right. Let's see. Let's read the lyrics first before we dive into the information, actually. Here comes the sunshine. Here comes the son of mine. Here comes the everything. Here's a song and a song for him. Sweet kisses, 3 wishes. There is one line, one part of this I love it near the end. Lovely, lovely Bertie. The most willful, the most beautiful, the most truly fantastic smile I've ever seen. This part. You bring me so much joy. And then, almost as she's going to say something else, you bring me much more joy. And then she just repeats that again because it keeps on bringing it. He keeps on bringing it and bringing it. You bring me joy and then more joy. You bring me joy and then more joy. That's it. How lovely, right? Because there's a part of, at least me, that, just listening, you're like, you bring me joy and you're like, more joy. There you go. All right, looking at Capish Encyclopedia, she says, he's such a big part of my life, so he's a very big part of my work. It's such a great thing being able to spend as much time with him as I can. And he won't be young for very long, and he's already starting to grow up, and I want to make sure I don't miss out on that. That I spent as much time with him as I could. So the idea was that he would come first, and then the record would come next, which is also one reason why it's taken so long. And let's be honest, extremely understandable. Of course. It always takes me a long time anyway, but trying to fit that in around the edges that were left over from the time that I wanted to spend with him. It's a wonderful thing having such a lovely son. Really, with a song like that, you could never be special enough from my point of view. And I wanted to try and give it an arrangement that wasn't terribly obvious, so I went for a sort of early music. Okay. So that's why I really like the song that you never be such enough from my point of view. So she was trying to give it something special, hence why she went with this type of music. Okay. See, I was not right. I was off. I was off there. That's cute. That's really cute. Hey, I would love to know what you all thought of it, of course, in the comments down below. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate you spending a little bit of your time with me, a slice of your day. And I hope the rest of your day, the rest of that particular pie is filled with good things. And have a great one, guys. Thanks again. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.